So we're here, we're live. It is, what time is it? 3 minutes past 9 on Monday night. It's party time, basically. Hope everybody is well. Those who are listening on the audio experience, thank you so much for being here. Do appreciate everybody who can't make it live, but catches up on iTunes, on Stitcher, or on Spotify. Hugely appreciate you being here. If you are listening on the audio experience, it would mean the world if you screenshotted your screen right now, if you're listening on iPhone or whatever, and then tweeted that. If you tweet it to me, at ActOnThisTV or at Ross A. Grant, just I want to know you're listening, basically. Let me know, and I want to say thank you. So if you don't do that, then I don't know you're listening. I can't say thanks. So please do share that with me. That would be amazing. We've got a busy Facebook group in the house tonight. Nicole has just joined. All right, Nicole, finally made it to live broadcast. She said, going to Paris this weekend, teaching a workshop. Wicked. So that's awesome. So, yeah, well, let us know how that goes, Nicole. I'm guessing that's to do with acting because you do all the acting classes and stuff. So that's pretty sweet. Dawn's here. Said hello to Dawn. Bess is in the house. Bess, Steph, whatever your name is. Sometimes I see your name's Bess. Sometimes I see your name's Steph. I don't know what your name is, Best Steph, but thanks for being here. Says, so ready for some shit kicking this week. Good, we're going to kick the shit out of some stuff tonight. Nick's here as well. James is here. I've said hello to Paul, Dougal, Stu's here, Sophia's here, Scott's here, Lucy's here, Lee's here. See what you're missing? Those people who aren't here live. Like, how many people join live? It's wicked. And if someone's watching and they've not said hello yet, Marek's here. How are we doing, mate? Myra's here as well. Do let us know. Meg Burley's in the house. Just legged it. Said legit just legged it off the sofa and left my boyfriend downstairs. Meg, I don't know what he's going to be thinking. He's going, who's this guy you're going to spend like an hour with upstairs? A bit weird. Linda, good evening. So tonight, yes, a bit of a different one tonight, guys. You might have seen me post in the Facebook group today, right? I never... And it's not because I'm like, I don't want to support anyone else, because that's not me. I support everybody, but I never promote anybody else's stuff really, unless I know. I'm talking about other people in the acting industry who run courses or classes for people. As an actor myself, I'm fully aware of just how many snake oil salesmen there are in this industry. But you might have seen me today post a little notice. A friend of mine, a guy called Jason Broderick, who's been really like totally under the radar for a number of years. I've known Jason quite a long time. He's helped coach. He's an actor himself. He works primarily in theatre, so that's why our paths haven't kind of crossed work-wise together. I work in TV, solely in TV. Jason works a lot in theatre. He's just finished a tour of Wicked. So his knowledge of theatre is massive in terms of theatre casting and stuff that I just don't have. This is the TV Actors Network. Everything that I know, and I know an awful lot about TV, don't know anything about theatre. So anything that people wanted to know about theatre, I would go to Jason to ask. And he's been coaching actors under the radar on the business of the business for the last few years. Quite a lot of coaching that's very complementary to the stuff that I do. I do an awful lot of mindset, motivation, getting people to just get shit done. Ultimately, I bring all the TV casting directors and ActOnThis.tv to you guys, directors, writers, producers. Ultimately, a lot of the kind of like tools, I guess, to, get in the room when it comes to TV. Jason is like massively OCD though, when it comes to systemizing all this stuff. Whereas I'm quite gung-ho and I'm like, guys, what can you do right now? Like in the next 1 hour to, get further in your career faster. Cause I'm all about speed in terms of two types of speed though. You've got to be patient in the grand scheme of things. So it's kind of like macro patience, but then micro speed. So you've got to realize that it's a marathon. You've got to be patient in the long run, but I'm all about speed on a daily basis. So I put challenges out in the Acts on This TV private community now, which is going swimmingly. If you're not a premium member of ActOnThis.tv, you just need to be. Not only do you get access to hundreds of hours worth of game-changing advice from the biggest casting directors, etc. in the industry, we now have a private community inside that website as well. And I set daily challenges in there. Today was Mail Out Monday, where I get people to send an email to someone they haven't met before and an email to someone they want to reconnect with, etc. We do these daily tasks every day because I'm all about speed. Whereas Jason's very systematic. And Jason, again, under the radar a couple of years ago, had something called Actors Business Breakthrough. And I knew he had like a little private community of people himself that he was taking people through very systematically, getting their toolkit together when it comes to, nailing their casting type, headshots, show reels, that sort of stuff. Very methodically, I would say. A bit more methodically than me in the way I work. I'm just all about just getting shit done like now. But over the last couple of weeks, I've noticed Jason, and we've been talking to him, he's been putting version 2 of this course together, and he launched a little free workshop this morning. It's 3 videos over the course of the next 10 days. And I said I'd promote it for him because I genuinely think this guy's legit. I don't promote anything that I don't think is super legit. People do offer to pay me lots of money to email you guys with shit, and I'm like, I'm not doing it because it probably is shit. Or you're just after actors' money, and I hate it. Jason's legit, and he put this first video out this morning. I want to play it you now. It's only a 10-minute video. It's very quick, but it's all about castability. And I think sometimes I might have taken for granted that most people in the Acts on This community know their casting type already. A lot of the stuff that I coach people on is like, right, what show do you want to be in? When do you want to be in it? Here's the casting director who casts it. Let's, make a move to making this happen. Let's get all the stuff together that we need to make this happen, and let's go and do it. And maybe I've skipped a step of going, actually, do you guys know? Inez, hello. Do you know what your casting type is? Genuinely, do you know? Because I know when I started out in my career, I remember getting asked this when I just left drama school. I was about 24. And David Johnson, if you remember, the acting coach, he's still around. He's a legend. He's just been given an OBE in the New Year's Honours list. He said to me in an acting class, he said to everybody, what's Ross's casting type? And he's like, Ross, what do you think your casting type is? And I honestly had no clue, genuinely, because I think sometimes we want to think we can play this when really, right now we're seen as this. And I think sometimes people want to play bigger roles and stuff that's well away from their casting type too soon. Dougal says, I don't really know what my casting type is, to be honest. Well, this video that Jace put out this morning that I'm going to play you now, Dougal, will hopefully help you figure that out. And Jason, again, like I said, he systemizes everything. He breaks it down into 4 areas, really, that you've got to figure out. And then you can actually, I'll give you an address where you can go and get a PDF. It's free. Again, it's all free. A PDF download. And you can actually, he calls it a castability blueprint. You can fill in the answers to these 4 questions, and you should come up with a pretty specific casting type. And then what you can do is you can apply that casting type then and go, okay, are my headshots currently right now congruent with this casting type? When I look at my headshot, do I see this casting type, or do I see something completely different? And I have met people whose headshots are nothing like their casting type. I've been afraid sometimes of meeting somebody, but not afraid, but going, oh god, they look, wouldn't mess with them on their headshot. And then I meet them in real life, and they're nothing like that, and I'm like, wow, and they couldn't play that either. They might just be able to look like it in a still photo, but they could never play stern, and that's just not them. They're much nicer, bubbly, more giving people. I'm like, God, your casting type's mixed up here. So we're going to have a look at this video. Meg says she's already watched it. Well, let's watch it again, Meg. We're going to watch it again. Peter Revel Walsh in the house. Peter, thank you so much for renewing your Acts on This membership today. Amazing having the community, mate. Make sure you check out the new private community within the website as well. That's new since you joined. Peter's been a member of the website for many years, man. Long time. Alma's in the house as well. Thank you for being here. And Dawn says, I go to David Johnson Drama on a Tuesday. He certainly knows the business. God, he does, Dawn. Say hello. Dawn, please. Say hello from me. I think he'll remember me. We used to get on really well. Sound bloke. I've known him a long time. So I'm going to play this video. Then I'm going to give you a web address where you can go and get access to this blueprint, and also a web address where you can get access to the second video in this series, again for free, this Friday. So I'll give you that after this. So this is the 10-minute video. Get a pen. I'll give you 30 seconds. Get a pen and a piece of paper to write, and we'll recap after this as well, to write down the 4 areas. You know what? It got me thinking, have I got this right? And I think I have, but you know what? Before I'd had as much experience as I've had now and as many credits as I've had now, I wouldn't have known. I honestly would not. Well, I didn't. I would struggle to figure out and really nail my casting type. So let me play this video for you. The beginning bit might be a bit loud because I've turned the volume up on the bit where Jason's speaking, so the intro might be a bit loud. So you might want to turn your speakers down for like 10 seconds and then turn them back up again. Not fully down, just a little bit. But here's the video. And I will, I'll be back here in 10 minutes. Peter says, just printed the blueprint off. Well, let's watch this. Let's discuss. See you in 10.
So do you want to know the real reason that you're not getting the auditions that you want? Big hint, it's not because you're not talented enough. If you are an up-and-coming actor, maybe you've been to drama school or you have a few years of experience and some professional credits under your belt, but you're feeling a bit lost about what to do next, well, I'm here to help. My name is Jason and I teach actors how to market and sell themselves the right way to get more auditions and book more jobs. I went to one of the top drama schools, Central School of Speech and Drama, and I'm represented by one of the top 10 agents in the country. I've played at some of the most prestigious theatres, featured on the BBC, and I've just finished the UK tour of Wicked. I also run one of the largest online communities of performing artists in the world with nearly 50,000 members, and I recently joined the committee for Equity's new online branch. Over the last few years, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours helping actors just like you to overcome their biggest challenges and frustrations with the business. So here's the big kicker. Even if you are one of the lucky ones who goes to a top drama school, you will come out the other side missing the vital business skills that you need to be successful in your career. You see, drama schools, they're really good at teaching you how to act, but they don't teach you much about how to be an actor. Stanislavski and Meisner, they're all well and good, but neither of those two can actually get you into an audition room, right? So if you're as sick as I am of seeing the same actors getting all the jobs over and over again, even if they're not really that good, then I'm sure you'll agree with me that without the right marketing plan for your career, you're effectively invisible to the people who matter most. If you don't know how to market and sell yourself the right way, then they'll never even know you exist, let alone give you the chance to actually show how good you really are. So let me ask you a question. How much of the way that you currently put yourself out there relies entirely on hope? You hope your teachers and your friends are right about what you could be cast as. You hope you pick the right headshot photographer. Then you hope that the shots actually turn out good. You hope you know what to say in a submission letter and hope that that lands you a top agent. And once you've actually got an agent, you hope that they like the headshots that you've just spent hundreds of pounds on. You hope you shoot the right showreel scenes, and then you hope that when you get the material back that it's actually what casting directors are looking for. Does any of that sound familiar? So now you have a decision to make. Are you going to keep relying on hope marketing, or are you going to start using a step-by-step marketing plan that gives you a crystal clear vision of your success and exactly how to get you there? So let's call a spade here, right? The real reason that you're not getting the auditions that you actually want is because you have no idea what your casting type actually is. If you don't have a clear idea of what you're trying to sell, then you will be submitting yourself for all the wrong castings. And if your material eventually does pop up on a casting director's desk, meh. If you've ever heard the phrase blank canvas, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hint, hint, nobody casts blank canvas actors. So let's break it down then. What actually is castability, and how can you figure out exactly what yours is without guessing and without asking your mum what she'd cast you as? So let me first give you a definition. Castability is the area of the acting market where you as an artist are most competitive. Let me say that again for you. Castability is the area of the acting market where you as an artist are most competitive. Clear as mud, right? So how do you actually know what area of the market is the best corner to set yourself up in? Well, there are 4 key things that you need to define in order to pin down your castability. So the first is gender. Now, for most of us, that's fairly binary. It's either male or female, pardon the pun. But if you'd rather be somewhere in the middle, feel free, don't let me stop you. Then we have ethnic or cultural origin. So that's where in the world do you look like you come from, which includes things like Jewish or Viking, which aren't necessarily ethnicities. Then you have age range. Now this is the age that you look like you are, not the age that you actually are, and that is defined by a lower age and an upper age. So for example, I could play 16 to 25, for example. Then lastly, but most importantly, we have occupation. And this is, what do you look like you do for a living? Now the reason that occupation is the most important trait is because a character's occupation is what dictates the most about the life of that character. And that is the primary reason that you as an actor are being cast. So for example, a 40-year-old chef and a 25-year-old chef, they lead pretty similar lives, don't they? They drive pretty similar cars, live in similar houses, go to similar bars, have similar friends. A male and a female chef, they lead pretty similar lives. An Irish chef and a Spanish chef, etc. But a 30-year-old plumber and a 30-year-old lawyer, well, they lead totally different lives, and so they'll be played by totally different types of actor. And that's why what you look like you do for a living is the most important trait you need to communicate through your marketing material, as it will be the most important box you need to tick in the eyes of the casting director. And so it should be your primary focus when you are designing your headshots and showreel. And yes, I said designing. Once you have your castability nailed down, it's like you have a design brief for your headshots and your showreel, etc. So getting your headshots done before you know your castability, well, that's like shooting a car advert before you know who you're trying to sell it to and then wondering why nobody buys. With your exact castability clear in your mind, you'll be able to book a photographer that captures those attributes best. You'll know what you should wear and what variations to bring to give a suggestion of that occupation, as well as choose the perfect scenes for your showreel that portray situations that your casting type would find themselves in. And if you already have all of that material, well then a clear castability statement will go a long way to allowing you to go back and evaluate how good a job you did the first time round, or whether it might be time that you thought about getting new ones done. So if you scroll below this video, you'll be able to download my free resource to help you craft the perfect castability, and that'll be a huge step in the right direction towards the career that you actually want. But let's not kid ourselves here. Just because you now know a little bit more about what you're selling, that doesn't mean you're suddenly going to get a flood of auditions, right? You have to actually start putting your castability to work for you. And that's what my next video is going to be all about. The big lessons that you won't learn at any drama school that explain why some actors that are the same casting type as you seem to constantly get the best jobs over and over again, even if they're really not that talented. So keep an eye out for that video in the next few days. But in the meantime, I want you to scroll down below this video and I want you to leave me a comment. Let me know if you had a step-by-step marketing plan in place that walked you through selling yourself the right way. How would that make your life as an actor better? How would your day-to-day life be improved if you knew exactly how to market and sell yourself in the right way? So drop a comment below and I'll speak to you soon.
Right, so that is video 1 of this 3-part series that Jason has launched this morning. It's really interesting, isn't it? It's doing it the other way round to how most people do it, in terms of most people go get their headshot shot and then they post them on Facebook and say, "Hi guys, what's my casting type?" And then we all chip in, and then we go, right, policeman, lawyer, girl next door, boy next door, plumber, lumberjack, whatever. You can go and get the casting blueprint, like the PDF, to work through this from. If you go to act.network/breakthrough, that's act. You don't need www. I think you can put it in anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll write it in the comments here with the www, just because I think Facebook won't create a link without it. But yeah, act.network/breakthrough. Let me see if I've done that right. act.network/breakthrough. And that should hopefully be in the comments there for you Facebook lot. Those who are listening on the audio experience, just go to act.network/breakthrough. You have to whack your email address in, just your email address. You'll get access to that video. You'll get updates for video 2, video 3 as well, and you'll get the PDF download. But I just thought it was an interesting way of looking at casting type in terms of these 4 elements. So element 1, you can write this down if you didn't get your notes there, was gender. Obviously, in most people's cases, that's going to be pretty straightforward. Bobby's here. All right, Bobby, hope you're well, mate. Bobby's had an anaesthetic today. He was going a bit delirious on Instagram before. So you've got gender. Your second is ethnic or cultural origin. So like Dougal, it's really interesting for you. We were talking the other night. So Dougal, what is your ethnic origin? Was it Indian? I think it was, wasn't it? Because you were saying actually Dougal was an Indian surname, because you wouldn't think of that as an Indian surname, would you? If you heard the name Dougal Ram and you didn't see anybody's picture, I'd probably think Dougal, Scottish, isn't it? My old man was Scottish. Dougal's a Scottish name, surely. But yeah, in terms of ethnic/cultural origin, you can be, born and bred British, and yet, on like to look at, you can play stuff that wouldn't stereotypically just be, a British bloke, which is great. That's what Jason was talking about, and he was saying, maybe people look Jewish or they look Viking, all that kind of stuff. It can be cultural as well as, ethnicity as well. So we look at that. Third age range, that's an upper and low range. I don't think Jason was commenting on his own age range there, because he said, for example, I can play 16 to 25. Bullshit, Jason. There's no way. I don't think he meant himself. So I think he was giving that as an example, but there's no way, Jason, you can play 16, mate. I'm not having that. We can all be optimistic about how young we look, man, but I'm not having that. You're definitely not 16. Anna, good evening. Hope you're well. Great to see you on Facebook. So yeah, I hope you're watching this, Jace, or you're listening to the replay. But the most important out of these four things, gender, you've got gender, ethnic and cultural origin, age range. The fourth thing was most important, occupation. And I think when you can be truly honest about what you look like ultimately occupation wise, I think that's the key to castability. Even Inez says casting type does undergo some interesting changes as one gets older. You need external evaluation periodically. Yeah, definitely. Andrew Alton reads here as well. So I think it is useful to ask other people. Jason has a thing within his program actually. I've seen him get people to literally go out on the streets and ask a minimum of 50 people what they think you look like and what you do for a job. It's really interesting the answers you get. I did it with some air stewardesses on a plane once, and they said my brother looked like a firefighter. I was like, what? Like, firefighters supposed to be like burly and all cool and stuff. He doesn't look like a firefighter. I was gutted. I think she said I look like I worked in IT. I was like, oh, forget it. You're dead to me. I would have done with a firefighter. Peter says I laughed at that one too. What about Jason's age? Definitely not 16 to 25, is it? But yeah, I think the occupation thing is really interesting. So what we might do, because Jason's saying basically work this out before you have your headshots taken, because then you can go into your headshot session. Say for instance, for me, I know my casting type now after being cast time and time and time again. In this new BBC drama I start filming later this month, I'm playing a businessman, I'm playing somebody's boss. I always play authority figures, just always for some reason. Don't know why. I want to play like, a bit of comedy at some point where I'm just not an authority figure, but I'm always police, doctor, lawyer, boss, businessman, salesman, basically anybody in a suit or a uniform, except fireman, unfortunately. That's definitely my casting type. So what I would have to do now is go to my headshot, which I'm getting new ones done on the 22nd, actually, by Tony Blake. Shout out to him, another great guy in the industry. And then go, right, is my headshot defining me as the authority figure? Do I look like the businessman, the doctor, the policeman, etc., etc.? Because they're the roles that I'm constantly being given, and that I'm getting, in auditions. So actually, rather than fight it and go, I want to play against type, I'd rather just be in constant employment, working all the time and earning money. And then eventually when you get more and more and more established, you can play against type. But I think it's just the wrong thing to do when you're early on in your career, is go against what you actually are being seen as. So I think that's quite interesting. What do you think? Give us some examples, those people on Facebook. What have you been told you are? Your casting type. Eric James Dean in the house. All right, I recorded a voiceover with Eric today. Hope you've sent that off, Eric, and it's good. Teresa says, I'm a teacher, but nobody thinks I look like one. Interesting, isn't it? Let me see. Oh, your picture's so small on here. I can't see you, Teresa. But post in the Facebook group. If you're in the Facebook group now, you're on the Facebook page. But if you're not in the group, it's facebook.com/groups/@onthisTV. Maybe we should have a little round of a bit of fastcast. Where we can suggest stuff like that. Paul Kenny says, I've nearly always been cast in dumb guy roles. There you go. Well, he says, yes, so good job. I love comedy. Man, you know what? Take it, Paul. Take it, mate. I would love a few roles like that. In-betweener style comedy. Simon, the clumsy one or something like that. I'd love to have a go at that. Shane's here. All right, Shane. Detective, cop, thug, and hitman for me. Yeah, man, I can see from your headshot, definitely. Got a bit of a Jason Statham thing going on. I can only see a little picture of you, but it might even be Jason Statham. He's here. He's live on the broadcast tonight, and he's calling himself Shane Santos. But yeah, mate. I mean, that's spot on, man. I think that that's your casting type pretty nailed. Hitman particularly, you like private security. There's a guy I actually know who does private security for like really wealthy people, who looks just like you. It could definitely be a side role for you. Peter's definitely got it. He says biker, 100% Peter, with that beard, definitely biker. Lecturer, computer geek, absolutely. Nordic warrior, Game of Thrones bloke, 100%. Outlander, everything like that. Lord of the Rings, it's got your name written all over it, Peter. Alma says, I get cast as wife of guy suffering with dementia. So long, suffering wife too. Oh, Alma, all these fellas that you're getting married to. Yeah, I mean, you can just, but I mean, it'd be interesting, isn't it, to see what your headshot is showing on there. I think it is. I mean, show reels will without a doubt give casting directors so much more, and I think they will watch that over just bringing somebody in from a headshot. Although I am going to play you something at the end of this from a director called Mickey Jones, where I actually literally ask him, would you bring somebody in just from a headshot? And he does say, yes, I would. Mickey Jones is a director for a lot of serial drama, everything from like Corrie and Emmerdale, so Holby, Casualty, those kind of things. And he loves giving people a chance. So he would give people a go just off their headshot. And that's why your headshot's got to be right. It's got to be very typical of your casting type. James Zir, I've been told copper, detective. Yeah, definitely. James, you've got such an interesting look, though. We've gone over this before. And what is your ethnicity? Isn't it like a crazy mix of like Italian and... What is it? It's something else, isn't it? It's like really so unique. All crooked or bad. James is a crook. I tell you, mate, play to it, though. It's brilliant. Oh, right. So Teresa's actually Lindsay. I had to change my name so my students can't find me. Ah, right, okay. I know you are then, Lindsay. No problem. So you don't think you look like a teacher? I think you could pass a teacher. Definitely. 100%. Dougal says I'm being put forward for dad roles now, to be honest. How old are you, Dougal? You have to be a young dad, man. You're not old, are you? Or you? No. We discussed this as well. He is older than we think he is, but he drinks a lot of water. Stegid Wayne, Scally, mate, you've got it down. Scally, 100%. Scally, comedy, Scally. That is, I mean, if there's one person on here tonight who's got their casting type more down than you, it's you, mate. No one has got it more down than you, Steve. But you need to play to that, mate. And have you had any showreel stuff shot as you actually being a Scally, as opposed to being the nice Scally, because you are nice in real life? But have you got any scenes where you're not particularly nice? Because I don't know if you have. I don't know if I've ever seen you actually be a bit of a bastard. And I know you're not that, but you could definitely play that, man. Peter also says devil, god, religious figures. Yeah, man, you've got that kind of oldie worldy mystical look to you. Kendall's here, right? Kendall, I'm really not sure. I'd always say the young vulnerable student, intern, etc. But I'm told I can look a bit European too. So what you need to go through this castability blueprint, answer these questions. So again, act.network/breakthrough. That'll take you to a special page Jason has designed for us for the Acts on This people. You'll even see a little message from him where he goes, hey, Acts on This members, I put this thing together for you. So I'm promoting it for him. He's gone that little extra effort for us all, and I always appreciate that. So yeah, acts.network/breakthrough. Go in there and grab video 1 and the blueprint and go through it, and you'll end up with a castability statement. It's going to help you with that. I'd love it if you would share that maybe in the Facebook group and let us know. Shane said I get that all the time. What the Statham thing, Shane? Roll with that, mate. Definitely. Caring mum or stressed mum? Definitely, Sarah. You've absolutely got the mum look. But other things, because mothers are also lots of other things. They're not just mums, are they? Big shout out to the mums. Don't know how you do it. I saw a mum who was shout out to Sophie. I don't know if she's on here. Young mum with 2 kids. The other night I was coming into my apartment and she's just coming out of Costa. One baby strapped to her front, one pushed in a pram in front of her. It was getting dark. She's like, yeah, I've got to take them to the park. And then she was talking about her acting career and all these different things she'd done that day for acting and for the family and for the kids. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I focus purely just on my career. I'm just a single bloke, and I just, it's not enough hours in the day for me. I don't know how all you mums do it, but shout out to all of you. Nick says sexual Tyrannosaurus. Not entirely sure what you mean by that, Nick. But if that's your casting type, mate, roll with that. Also, mother has difficult relationships with the children, says Alma. Maybe you've got a bit of conflict in your life, Alma. Maybe your headshots are showing some vulnerability in the eyes or something, or some pain. Or something like that. Maybe that's why you've been brought in for stuff like that. Bess says, I'm the same, a uni lecturer, but no one believes me. Some man asked me if I worked in theatre today, though. No idea about casting type, though. Interesting, Bess / Steph, whatever your name is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, why wouldn't you be seen as a uni lecturer? No one believes me. That's funny, isn't it? No one believes me. Some man asked me if I worked in theatre. Again, you've got to go through this castability thing, get a statement, and let's all help each other figure it out and see if we think they're right. Kendall's talking about period dramas, young girls in period dramas. Bobby says, I always feel you have your first type, like before you get a lot of work and you're cast based off your look. And then once you find your feet, I agree with this, Bobby. Then when you find your feet, you get your second type, which is a better match for your personality. Early on, I was playing lots of chavs, thugs and psychos. You're definitely none of those things, Bobby. Now I'm more likely to play the deadpan snarker or the vulnerable meathead. The vulnerable meathead? I don't think you're a vulnerable meathead either. But yeah, I agree with that. I do think you have. For me, it was definitely copper. Just copper. It's all I got. My first roles. Actually, my very first role was a barman in Emmerdale. Then it was a copper with Peter Capaldi and Juliet Stevenson in something called Accused. I was quite happy with being a copper in that. Then I had another copper in Exile. God, you know what? Then I had a copper in Hollywood. I've been coppers in Hollywood. Everything was copper. It's not been until the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, where I've been other stuff like, salesmen and businessmen and all this kind of stuff, but it's still suited and booted like businessy type people or uniformed people, doctors. I'm trying to think if I've done something that's just nothing. It's all authoritarian, and I'm like a nice guy. I don't know why they think, oh, he's authoritative, because I'm definitely not. But that's just what people see me as. I'm not going to play against that because I just want to work. But I agree, yeah. Once you've got yourself established, Bobby, I think then you can play a bit further away from your type until eventually, you get such a draw. You can probably play anything, and people are just, you can play right against type. So then, people just watch you because you've got a name. At the end of the day, after that, I'm older than I look, says Dougal. You are, Dougal. You look young, man. Oldie worthy, Father Christmas, Peter, mate. You've got Father Christmas down, definitely. Mickey Jones said, I look like a pimp, said James. James, you definitely could look like you could definitely be a pimp. You got some like Italian thing going on, haven't you? It's like almost mafiosa if you wanted it to be. It's good though, it's strong. You look strong. You're definitely kind of like slick businessman, authority type thing. But yeah, you have got like a natural swagger, haven't you? So it's a bit like just suave, whatever you are, with a bit of suave sophistication. Older femme fatale, says Anna. Anna, absolutely. That scene you did on your showreel, Anna's like a man-eater. Definitely. Femme fatale, 100%. Victim, downtrodden, wife, caring mum. Dawn, I can see as all those things, not in real life, but just as an actress. Yeah, you could definitely play that, like the kind, caring one who always just gets taken advantage of. And I mean in fiction, not in the real world. Valerie's here, all right, Valerie. Professional types and historical women. Stegard Wayne, he says, I'd say the scalliest scene I've done was the one with Rebecca Blitham and Chris Stone. Is that the one where you're on the swings? Steve, let us know if it is. Joe's here, all right, Joe Beecroft. Well, I'd say my Facebook profile pic only says one type at the moment. Let me see what this is, if I can zoom in. It's very... What is this type? This is very theatrical. What is this from? So in this picture, I can see. Let me see if I can zoom in properly. Joe Beecroft. I can see a massive wig, loads of face paints, an incredibly flowery, flamboyant kind of like puffed up, dressy type thing. What's that from? Let us know, Joe. What is your one type? It's interesting. Dougal said it would be really interesting to ask random people what they think you do. Yeah, no, that's it. That's what I was saying before. Jason's made people do that before. It's literally made them go out and ask. You're not allowed to come back until they ask 50 people. That's a long day, that. Going, hi. Excuse me. Actually, 50 people who will talk to you. I've gone out to do vox popping with people in the public before and they just don't even want to stop. Bobby says, I'm about to go radically against type, playing a charming con man who seduces older women. Ha! And that's more your type, Bobby. It's more what you do in real life, that, mate. All right, Christopher Pan in the house. Angie Johnson in the house as well. Great to see you here. Hope you are good. Steve says it's opposite way round from him. He's 22, but he looks 50. I wouldn't say a day over 40, Steve. I wouldn't even say 40, mate. You don't look... I think you could play older than you are, but you're not, like, going to get, You're definitely not getting 50, mate. You're not having that. Definitely. Christopher said, just been cast as a New York cop with an accent and all. 3-round process. Nice one, man. That's your accent must be good. Definitely. And it's Deborah. Angie's my Facebook alias. Of course it is, Deborah. I didn't want to blow your cover, Angie. Just thought play along. Bulletproof Deborah. Can you change your cast type, says Sahir. Do you know what, mate? It's a difficult one. It's going to be very much based on those 4 things that really you can't change. Well, I mean, you could to a certain extent, but they are gender, your ethnicity, which you're just born with. I mean, again, these are all things you technically could change. It would take some radical changes, though. Age range, again, you could change it with some radical surgery of some type. And what people see you as in terms of your occupation. You know what? Whether we like it or not, this is the interesting thing about society. Forget acting for a minute. We do instantly, and don't we just, it's nothing wrong with saying yes to this, right? This is just natural. We do instantly judge people off their appearance. Only for a fraction of a second, but we make a bit of our mind up about what this person is going to be like before they've opened their mouth by their appearance. If you walk past somebody in the street, or before you sit down next to somebody on public transport, you just do. I don't care who you are. It's just completely human and natural to make a quick judgment based on everything from intuition to previous experience of some people who might appear to look like this person you're about to sit next to or whatever. Someone's about to stop you in the street and ask you to sign up for, chuggers, like charity people. You make judgments on these people via their appearance of what they do. And you could easily go, you look like a copper, you look like a doctor, you look like a plumber, oh, he looks like a bricklayer, he looks like, a businessman. And it isn't based off a 10-minute conversation with them. It's entirely based off these things which are external. You look at somebody's gender, you look at their ethnicity and their cultural origin. I can't say that, cultural origin. You make a judgment, and I'm shit with ages. Who else is really bad with ages? You ever worked in a shop where you've had to ID people? Because I did for years in a computer game shop back in the day. Most of you know my story. I eventually got out of there. And I had to ID people who, for 18 plus games. And I found it so hard. Sometimes I'd ID someone, and I mean, they'd be dead happy. They'd be like, mate, I'm like 28. And I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Other people... they'd be... Sometimes I'd be about to serve them, and I think, no, better idea, and it turns out they're like 16. I've never been good with ages. But that's something that, we judge people on, based on how old they look. And again, like, their occupation is the 4th thing. Your occupation is a thing you can change, but can you change what occupation you look like you do? Maybe externally with clothing, but you'd have to completely... It would be a lifestyle change, wouldn't it? You'd have to consciously choose to alter your appearance permanently. Go, right, from now on, if I don't actually, brush my hair in the morning ever, and I look a bit like a surfer dude, who's just, proper, not taking that much, doesn't preen himself or anything like that. You'd have to go, actually, you know what? Every single day now, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to slick my hair back and I'm going to wear shirts and ties for the rest of my life. And then I'll start to be seen as something else, as opposed to someone who's casual all the time. So you can do it, but you're not going to be like super authentic to yourself, are you really? Unless you really want to. Unless you're like, actually, you know what? I'm going to throw out my wardrobe. I'm going to start dressing differently. That's totally cool. You can always do that. Laurie Lewis in the house. Hope you are good. Bobby says most actors change theirs over the years. Yeah, there is that in terms of your age is going to change as time passes. So technically, you can change your casting type by just staying alive. That's true. Bobby says Amy Adams played bitches and bad girls early on, but her breakout was Enchanted and she was suddenly typecast as sweet good girls. Maybe, bad girl gone good. She just grew up a bit. Laurie says mum, barmaid, aunt, sister. Paul says nice to know everyone in your community so well, Ross. Commitment. Yeah, we just all hang out, Paul, basically. I feel sometimes when I'm commenting on people and I see their names that I don't want to feel like I'm excluding new people by going, oh, I'm talking about something that I've seen them do, but I'm committed to these guys, yeah. If you want to, enter the inner circle, guys, just, get on board with everything that we're doing. I genuinely buy into people who buy into Acts on This in terms of like buy into the community. I don't mean like give money to the community, although you should have a premium membership. If you want to, advance your career much faster, it's not required though. It just means like give back to the community, comment on stuff, help people, be part of stuff, come to the in-person meetups, etc. And we'll all get to know each other. Was much stronger together. As Sarah said, best place I found to ask random people about type is the shop assistants in a shopping centre. They can't escape if you go on a quiet day. They love something else to do. Yeah, you could just walk around the Trafford Centre if you're in Manchester, go into every shop and say, hi, excuse me, just based on purely on appearance, what do you think I do for a living? Do you think people would be like polite though? And if you really did look like, I don't know, I mean like there are no bad jobs. I respect anybody who's got a job, but say for instance, I don't know, like a sewage cleaner. I don't know what one of those looks like. But imagine if you did look like that. Would people tell you look like that? I don't know. That's the only thing in it. I get that all the time, but kids love me. What Peter? Not a sewage cleaner. You mean what? Father Christmas, probably. I think we were talking about before. Marek says teacher, businessman, serial. Do you know what, Marek? You got it, man. He says teacher, businessman, serial killer, father. Very, very different jobs, occupations. I genuinely can see you. I could absolutely see you doing all of those, though. Without a doubt. I'm not saying you look like a serial killer, but I've seen some showreel stuff you've done where maybe you could look like that. Definitely. Embrace it, though. That would be a really interesting part to play. Bit of a mental one, but... prison warden with a heart of gold. Inez, that's maybe true. I wouldn't mess with Inez. The thing is with Inez is on a picture here, she's like a sweet older woman. She's got a very wicked side. I mean that in the nicest possible way. I keep getting cast as terrorist and hate it. I want to play a comedic role, says Sahir. Well, Sahir, man, do what the boys did, like out of, Three Lions. Three Lions was based all around terrorists, but it was so funny. I don't know how you make something like so serious actually funny, but they did such an amazing job of it, didn't they? It won God knows how many awards. So you could definitely change the types of role you play by writing your own material, maybe your own material around whatever it is you want to change. I just watched a really interesting video before. You guys should go and watch something. There's a really great learning platform called Mind Valley. And they do lots of free courses on there. It's all about psychology, positive psychology, and ultimately kind of like taking your mindset and, all the work that I do with Bulletproof Actor. It kind of takes a lot of the foundational principles of that and then really blows them up and adds a lot of spirituality to it. Not religion, nothing like that. But ultimately saying, listen, if you're going to accept the reality that you live in, why not accept a reality where you genuinely believe, you can tap into and embrace a level of spirituality that will help you bend reality. It sounds crazy and so out there, but go to Mind Valley and just watch the first video in the series of, I think it's just called Bending Reality. Is phenomenal in terms of creating your own reality. It's so powerful in terms of going, to here, you're saying that's all you're being seen as and you want to do something else. You don't want to be seen as terrorist after terrorist after terrorist. It's really fascinating how you ultimately that's being dictated to by other people's rules, etc., and how you can bend your own reality. I can't really explain it well enough without you watching the videos, but if you go to Mind Valley, and just search on YouTube maybe even for Mind Valley, Bend Your Reality or something like that. Very, very interesting. You might just have to take control of the situation yourself, man, as opposed to, accepting the casting rules of others. I don't know. It's an interesting one. But what I would say to here is if you can get constant employment as that thing, fucking hell, it beats working in a shop, doesn't it? You know, it's not saying you are a terrorist. It's saying right now, this is kind of a controversial part of the world we live in, and it's become very popular in culture to tell stories about it, particularly in the West. So it's not saying you're that thing. It's just saying right now that's what people are making. If you can fulfill that role and get paid for it every single time, mate, and then put that money into making your own stuff, playing the roles that you actually want to play, I'd do that every day of the week than go and get a normal job. Nurse and receptionist for Lowry, absolutely. See you doing those. Kenny says inbuilt survival instinct. What are we talking about here, Kenny? Don't know what that's about. Let's have a look. Jill Myers has just joined us. All right, Jill. Late to the party, she says, don't worry, Jill. It's fine. We'll just stay. You can always go and watch the replay. Deborah says, I played a lot of mother roles, also been a policewoman, editor-in-chief, nanny, city trader, lawyer. It is interesting, isn't it? All right, Gary. Gary's here as well. Joseph's here as well. It's so funny. He said, I'm not saying you look like a serial killer. Joseph, I wasn't saying Marek looks like a serial killer, but I can definitely see him as a serial killer. Dougal just said 4 lines. Dougal, man, what's your heritage? Indian? I could see you playing one of them characters because you're very, I don't know if you know, Dougal, you're funny without meaning to be funny, I think. Or maybe you do know, but you let on that you don't know, and that's clever. But you're quite dry-witted, aren't you? You could definitely play one of those kind of comedy roles without a doubt. Keith Dickinson's in the house. Says, hey up Ross, great subject tonight. Surely it's up to what the casting directors or directors see in us. Done a few copper things, but isn't castability in the eye of the beholder, as it were. So Keith, this is about shaping your castability. You getting clear on it rather than giving a blank, a headshot that's basically doesn't really say anything. It's just basically, okay, this is me at my most, I don't know, I guess, just plain looking in terms of paint whatever you want onto me. Casting directors are often too busy to do that, or just don't want to do that, or sometimes just need nudging into one direction or another to be sure to bring you in for something. They might go, oh, you know what, maybe, yeah, I guess he could pass as a copper. I don't know. I'm not saying you go and get dressed up as a copper in your headshot, but you could certainly, do things within your photo shoot to suggest copper. Depending on, you might get 3 costume changes in your photo shoot. One of them might happen to be you in a white shirt with a black V-neck jumper. That suggests every role I go for as a copper, I wear that. Always get it. Because it's just, and I know that's not a copper's uniform, but black and white is. And it just is like a subliminal, subconscious suggestion to go, here you go. It's just a little bit more towards this authority, this copper kind of thing. And you end up with maybe, 3 or 4 headshots. One's for your comedy stuff, one's for your authoritarian stuff like coppers and doctors. One's more casual. One could be smiley, and dressed in casual stuff for comedy, etc. You can just steer somebody's judgment in your favor if you know where you are most competitive. Because we like to think we can play everything, and the reality is we can't. Voiceover artists do this all the time. They want to show they can do every single voice under the sun and every accent under the sun. And I've worked solidly as a voiceover artist for 15 years. I mean, nearly every day. I've got scripts here. I'm going to record tomorrow for some radio adverts. International brand, big jobs. I've been asked to do accent in 15 years about 3 times. I did a Geordie accent once. I've done standard American a few times. Apart from that, really, I've done Northern, which I am. Very, very rarely, because if they want a Scotsman, they'll go and just get a Scotsman. If they want, somebody French, they'll go and get someone French. It's quite similar in the acting world a lot of the time, unless you are a huge draw and your name will put bums on seats or get viewers watching the TV. You're going to be cast for, very specific reason about what you look like occupation-wise. And we all live in the same world, and most of our judgments are the same. I could get someone in here who looked like a builder, and you'd all say he looked like a builder. Everybody would, because we see them as a particular type or a white van man kind of type. Equally, I could bring a guy in here, who's an older gent, who looks more sophisticated, maybe wears glasses, etc., and you go, he's a consultant, he's a doctor, someone high up in medicine or something. So it's about tapping into that rather than going, I can play anything, and ultimately you're never then going to get to do anything because you're just a bit of everything. It's nailing down exactly what you are and then going, right, I'm going to go and get consistent employment for those things. So I think, yeah, it does. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, I've never been through this process until I saw Jason do this week. I've never been. You might have missed the video we just played, Keith. You can watch it on the replay, or go to act.network/breakthrough, and you can get the video and this casting PDF as well. But it's interesting. I've never done that, and yet every single casting director I've always been brought in from so many different casting directors, not the same one as the professional characters, as the businessmen, the bosses, the policemen, the doctors, the lawyers, and that's from like a dozen different casting directors. So they're all seeing the same thing in me. So therefore, I should be able to see that thing in myself and then play that in my favor when I'm having my headshots done and I'm having my I'm filming a show reel. If I was starting from scratch, I didn't have anything to put my show reel, I would absolutely I would go, it'd be very sensible to go and get some showreel scenes shot where I am playing the copper and I am playing the doctor initially. So it couldn't be clearer to these casting directors that I am capable of playing these parts they're probably going to see me for initially in my career, because they're generally the smaller parts as well, that you're going to be seen for straight away. So it is interesting. Yeah, I think it's good to get a good grasp of what you of what you are. So here it says, bit off topic, but any tips for auditioning for Monologue Slam? Bess or Steph, are you still here on the broadcast? Because I saw Bess/Steph, same person, just goes by two different names, perform at Monologue Slam not long ago. She did a great job, and she'll definitely be able to help you with that. So let us know in the comments, Bess or Steph, how you went through the audition process. I'm guessing you go to monologueslam.com, whatever the website address is. I think it's that. It's Triforce Events, isn't it? You then will find audition details on Monologue Slam for the city you are in. It's spread into new cities all the time. They have a masterclass day where you go and you all perform, and then I think they choose people from the masterclass to then audition, and then people to audition to then get picked out to be in the actual show. It's brilliant, Monologue Slam, though. If people are struggling to get credits, especially if you want to get on Spotlight, and you're like, shit, I need an extra credit, how am I going to do it? Monologue Slam, when you perform at the event, it counts as a credit on Spotlight. It's the easiest way to get an official credit for your Spotlight, criteria. And you meet some brilliant people, from everybody from the hosts of the show to, 100 and odd people who will come and watch you, all the other actors. It's a great place to network, and it's always held in like really nice venues as well, where you'll meet loads of like-minded people as well. Alma wants the same stuff. Oh god, there's so many comments. Got another 41 comments to go through. Apologies if I'm getting behind on all these comments, but yeah, anybody else got any tips for Monologue Slam? Let us know. Alma says, that's the problem with my headshot, Ross. Any suggestions as to how I come across more as a teacher would be welcome. More formal dress, definitely, 100%. So it would be that, and maybe put some specs on if you wear glasses or not. We make judgments on that. It's cliched as hell, but why do people always say, "Oh, you look really intelligent in your glasses"? That's because over years and years and years of society and conditioning, we have been, conditioned to believe that people who wear glasses are more studious for whatever reason. I wear contact lenses. You can't see them. But yeah, I would definitely do that, Alma. I'd go, right, I'm going to look more professional. I'm going to wear more professional attire, wear a suit. And it's only for one of your headshots. This isn't like your headshot full stop. You might go, right, I'm going to get a new headshot session done. I'm going to get some headshots done on the 22nd with Tony Blake. Probably going to take 4 changes of clothing. One will be just a plain black t-shirt, super neutral. One will be a shirt, one might be a V-neck, one might be a suit. And you just end, it really does alter the perception of you. Yes, you might say, well, I'm going to give the casting director me in just a black t-shirt, and that's it, and that's my main shot for everybody, and they can put onto me and project onto me what they want. And that, I'm not saying that doesn't work. But the more suggestible you can be, I think very specifically about what I'm going to wear for an audition. You wouldn't turn up to an audition as a doctor in shorts and a vest. So equally, if you think that's your casting type, shouldn't be having your headshots done in really casual clothing as well, thinking, oh, people can just paint whatever they want onto me. They can, but it's so much better if you have some subtle suggestions based on 4 different styles of headshot you get taken in one session, because it's your session. If you've got, a 45-minute or an hour-long session with the headshot photographer, you can break that down into 4 15-minute sessions in different attire. It's your session. Do what you want with it. You must get the most out of that. Jill says, I'm totally cast as professionals for TV. I'm just making the most of those at the moment. Let the casting directors see how reliable I am in those roles. Hopefully will lead to larger roles. Spot on, Jill. I agree with you. I'm kind of in that position myself. I'm due to have new headshots on the 18th of Feb, says Deb. Any suggestions as to what I should wear? I can't suggest until you get clear on your casting type, because then from there, you're then going to go, right, okay, I'm gonna wear clothes that favour closer to it and then further away from it to give you a little bit of range. I'd always suggest people go with one of the plain options, just so you do have that more neutral one. But then apart from that, just more casual up to super smart business wear, I guess. Nothing with, I've seen a few people post headshots recently with really busy motifs on their clothing. I think that's bad. Just because I'm looking more at the top than the person's face. And if the background isn't super plain, if you're shooting outside, you might have some, blurred background in there of different things, maybe buildings or a brick wall or whatever. It can clash as well if you've got patterns and stuff on. So I'll just keep your clothes as plain as possible. But there's no absolute hard and fast rules, to be honest. I'm not sure what my typecast is, says Linda. Maybe a primary school teacher. Any ideas, anyone? Linda, if you post a bigger picture, you look all smiley. So you definitely be a primary school teacher, 100% nursery worker. Definitely could see you in those kind of roles, 100%. But again, you can subtly suggest differences in. Again, it's based on appearance, isn't it? And what the occupation you look like you do, and that's gonna be dictated to sometimes by your clothing. So you can certainly change it up a little bit. Definitely someone sweet and caring, says Bobby, judging from your pictures. You look instantly trustworthy, and for some strange reason my mind tells me fairy as well, if there's ever a fantasy workaround. Excellent, Bobby. Yeah, definitely. Interestingly, Ross, I asked the casting director whether we should do scenes as our obvious type, and she said no, because casting directors can see that anyway. Do you know what? Everyone's going to have a different opinion, Alma. Definitely. I think it's more useful how can they see that anyway? I'd love to ask them that. Then I'd say, okay, so if I do a scene as a drug using, I don't know, somebody unfortunately really down and out, how then could you see me if my casting type is a lawyer? How could you then see me as a lawyer? I'd challenge that. I'd say that isn't true, but it's very subjective, innit? This is just my opinion, and Jason, the stuff that we've looked at from tonight from Jason Broderick. I don't think you can make things too obvious for people, to be honest. I think we live in such a fast world. The more obvious you can make something, the more committed the casting director is going to be to make that choice. If they're umming and ahhing, if they're like, she kind of looks like, a barrister in this headshot, but a showreel, she's just playing a prostitute, and I don't know. And then there's somebody who looks like a barrister in the headshot, and then has a barrister scene in a court. They're going to go, actually, you know what? This is a risk. This one isn't. Just bring her in. We haven't got time. This is the brutality of the world, really. I don't think you can make things too obvious. I've seen in commercials. I would never do this in a drama casting. I saw someone once. I was in a car commercial. This is one of my first ever jobs, actually. It was a car commercial that they were doing like it was a medieval horse and cart kind of commercial, but it was for cars, but we did it like medieval carts. And someone came in for the role of the knight, actually in full chainmail armour. Now, the casting director could easily have said, oh, but you don't need to do that because I could see you in chainmail anyway. Brought the chainmail in, got the job on the spot because they wanted to use that chainmail. They went, right, he comes with the costume, you've got the job. So they easily could have said, oh, you didn't need to do that because we could see you in chainmail. Brought the frickin' chainmail, wore it, and went, actually, you're in it, you're in. got the job, no audition required. Like, he did a very basic audition. So I don't think you can be too obvious. I just think the more you can make it so apparent, the better, really. So here it says, please message me Bess/Steph if you're still here. That'd be useful, or Bess, Steph, so everybody can benefit. Post it in the Facebook group. That'd be really useful as well, so that everybody gets to hear about Monologue Slam. Ruth Curtis has joined. All right, Ruth, hope you're well. Great to see you here. 2 of my headshots have a goatee, and the other 2 I'm clean shaven. Is that good or too confusing? It's fine, James. But you just make sure it's good. It's good. It shows different looks, but make sure when you're submitting the picture, you tell your agent to tell the casting director where you're at beard wise. Because if they get a picture of you with a goatee and you just shaved it off yesterday and don't have time to grow it back for tomorrow's audition, they need to know about it. So it's good. It's really good because it says, listen, if the shoot's not for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I can grow this and I can look like this. Or equally, if I've got this right now, I'm going to come at the audition with it, but here's a headshot of me without it, so I can just shave it off instantly, and this is what you've got. So just be honest. Ultimately, is the advice there. But I think it's good, mate. I can't grow a beard. I can, but it's as ginger as Ed Sheeran, and I've got brown hair. It doesn't look right. I don't know what it is. How has that even happened? How do you get... Will someone look this up scientifically and figure out why people with brown hair... Because look at my hair, those who are watching live. I mean, it's lightish in parts, but it's brown, isn't it? And yet my beard, I mean, it's proper ginge. Nothing wrong with ginge if I had ginger hair. Prince Harry can get away with it. I just can't get away with it. It's just not right. Definitely. I'm surprised you've not played a presenter in anything, Ross. You have the peppy game show host vibe down. Bobby, you've obviously not studied my body of work on IMDb. I have been a presenter multiple occasions. Once I was a lottery presenter for Emmerdale when the Dingles won the lottery. That was interesting. And the other time, I think I've been a news reporter a few times for Hollyoaks. I could present till the cows come home. I could definitely do that. If anyone's got a job as a presenter, give me a shout. Where do we post our headshots and showreels to get your views and others? Alma, in the Act on This Facebook group, or if you are a premium member of actonthis.tv, we've got a very focused group within the actonthis.tv website now, which is, I can show you it. I can show you it with you being here live. Where is it? Let me have a look on here. I'll show you for those who haven't seen this yet, because this is new. I've only launched this last week, but we're building. I wanted a really, really focused group. The Facebook group is fantastic. Love you guys to bits. Everyone is in it. But there's nearly 9,000 people. So stuff can get a bit busy at times. Things can get lost a little bit. It can get a bit crazy. I'm going to put my web browser on. One sec. The screen will go black for a second. Just bear with me. Now we should have the web browser on. So when you log into the members area on actonthis.tv, Alma, I don't know if you're a premium member or not. If you are, though, you'll see this. You've got 2 memberships. You've got your premium membership, which is for where all of the podcasts and the video interviews and just everything. I mean, hundreds of hours worth of interviews with the biggest names in the industry. Or what you can click on now is this premium community. And if you come in here, this is basically like a private Facebook group. It's not built on Facebook. It's built in the actual site itself, where you'll see I set like daily challenges. It was Mail Out Monday today, so we've got people mailing different people. People are sharing casting directors' details there. I won't put those up on the screen for very long. And these are all, look, Get Sharp Sunday. This was people yesterday saying what they were going to do with the week ahead. It's busy. It's a busy group, very tight-knit. And you could absolutely post your showreel or whatever you want in there, and you'll get faster feedback basically, and just really focus. Everyone in there, it's the most dedicated people within Acts on This basically are premium members of the website and take part in that community. So you can post it in there. If you're a premium member, I would highly recommend that. If you're not and you don't want to be for whatever reason, then by all means, post it in the Facebook group for Acts on This, which is Acts on This, facebook.com/groups/Acts on This TV, and people will give you feedback. Keith said, good point about the headshots. I also do mine with Tony. Good bloke, isn't he, Tony Blake? And at one point he said, rough your hair up and try a different look. Which is great advice. Different looks on the spotlight picks must be beneficial. Yeah, I think you can easily have 4 or 5 different shots on spotlight without it getting too confusing. I wouldn't ever go, right, I'm going to have 20 different shots. I'll show a casting director at every single side of me. Because I think there's one thing looking like a certain thing in a shot, and it's a very different thing acting like that. I could probably shave my head, dirty my face up, and look rough and a bit like a scally. But if you then bring me in to play that role, I just wouldn't be able to do it any justice compared to someone who that is their actual type. So I think you would play, you've got a certain range, say your range is like this big on camera here. And then you will go either side of this range, as opposed to like this might be the whole of the industry. You'll fit into this area of it, and then you'll just flip back and forth within that area. Because you can be made up to look like something, but to actually act like that is very, very different. It's much harder. Alma says, I agree, Ross. I think they need a bit of a nudge too. I don't know what that was in reference to. Can I send my photo, especially as we haven't met in person? Chris, post it, mate. Post, but honestly, if you want any advice or anything, post it in the Facebook group, or if you want quicker, post it in the premium area of Acts on This, because we're in there like all the time, and I get I've got it on my phone all the time and stuff like that as well. There's really good group of people in there who share information. Somebody today, Lee, if he's on here, phoned the BBC to get 4 casting directors' email addresses. He didn't keep them to himself. First thing he did when he got them is he posted them in the group for everybody else. That's the kind of community we're creating, one of abundance, where people realise that our success is everyone's success. There's enough of it out there for all of us, and they're not hoarding this shit to themselves. That's not what we're building here. Tony, who for headshots is Alma? Tony Blake, Alma. So Tony Blake is based in Chester. Again, I don't recommend people I don't use myself. I use Tony myself. I'm seeing him again on the 22nd. I've used him for many, many years. Wouldn't really use anybody else. And he does an awful lot of BBC's on-set stuff as well. So he does a lot of, their kind of behind the scenes and promo shots for their latest dramas and stuff. He's very, very, very good. So he photographs very well-known people, but equally, we'll do headshots for people. He's very, very good. Laurie needs to call some photos, she said. They've got another 70 comments to go through. God, it's a busy one tonight, isn't it? And it's already 10 past 10. I can't go through everything that's on here. But I do massively appreciate everybody for being on here. Bobby just said, I just remembered that in school plays I was typecast either orphans or princes. I've rescued Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella and Rapunzel. Mate, I mean, come on. What better can you be than a prince? Saving Rapunzel. But yeah, just have a think, guys. And Lee is here. Thanks for posting that info, Lee, on those casting directors. So yeah, we'll kind of start wrapping it up. But yeah, if you go to act.network/breakthrough, that's act.network/breakthrough, get the free video series from Jason. I thought it was a 2 video series. I sent everyone an email this morning saying it's 2 videos. It's not, it's 3. So it's even better value. But he is legit. Like I said, I would never, ever in a million years come on here and tell you guys to go and check something out if it was bullshit and if it was just some snide, thing that happens in this industry a lot, where people just want to sell people nonsense and prey on vulnerability and desperation and stuff like that. Jason, I feel, is one of the few good men left in this industry. He's basically a slightly less good-looking version of me. I'm joking, Jason, if you're watching, and he's Irish, but he's a good lad. I can recommend a great Liverpool-based photographer called Luke Anthony Jr. He did my most recent shots. Nice one, Bobby. Well, yeah, I'm all up for hearing people's recommendations. That's what I want in this community, is like, I get offered a lot. Like, people will come to me and just will email me saying, I'll pay you to send this out to your email list, or to send this out into your Facebook group, or recommend this. And I'm just like, do one, dickhead. Why on earth would I spend 8 years of my life building a reputation of being, legit and authentic, and then just sell out like that? So I always go off recommendations. You'll hear me recommend people who I have used. If you've used somebody Bobby, and you're like, they're really, really good, legitimately, you want to recommend them. Put it in the Facebook group, Tony's awesome. He's obviously not the only photographer out there. Chris Stone's incredible for showreels. He's not the only showreel producer out there. The Acts in This community, absolutely awesome. Not the only community out there. That's why I'm promoting the stuff that Jason promotes. He doesn't threaten me. I'm not like, oh my God, everyone's going to run away and join what Jason's doing, because I'm like, there's enough for everyone. If I continue to give enough value, you guys have been around a long time. I'm sure, you'll stick around if I continue to pump out, useful stuff. So never feel threatened by what other people are doing. As long as you're showing up every day and you're putting good stuff out, it will work for you. Just, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Peter. Says, always a pleasure and funny. Well, thank you for being here, mate. Do appreciate it. Luke did Stephen's headshots as well. Nice one, Stephen. Can you envisage a time where we dispense with agents and just have communities of actors where we recommend and submit each other for jobs out of kindness? Oh, wouldn't it be lovely, Alma? if only. I still think it's such a big business. We can never forget that aspect of it. For us, we love it. It's an incredible job we get to do, which is amazing. Again, that's something you've got to remind yourself of as an actor. When you're struggling, you don't have to do this. If you're struggling, no one's making you do this. You don't have to do it. You get to do it. And when you realise, actually, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. What a privilege it is to do this. Again, when you operate from that place, your life will change, quite dramatically. But it is a business at the end of the day. So I think the powers that be who are ploughing millions into stuff will always want to deal with agents, Alma, to be honest with you. But we can create our own stuff in the meantime. Definitely. And I know people who do that and very, very successful with that. Definitely. So you can always cut out the agents and the middlemen that way. But I'm grateful for my agent. I hate dealing with all the finances and stuff, Alma. I hate that. You have this, how much do you want? Oh, I can't do it. I don't like that at all. So I'm glad to have an agent where they can just deal with all that stuff. But I do definitely believe in the currency of kindness. Like you say, kindness is magic. People need to deploy less judgment, more kindness. 2 voice actresses called Tara Strong and Cree Summer do that for each other, says Bobby. Always recommend you. You should always recommend your mates, though, Bobby. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Thank you, Ine. I said it again, Inez. Oh, shit. It's when I read your name. It makes me want to say Ine, but it's Inez. Thank you, Alma. Always good to recommend people for things if they haven't seen them. Absolutely, Peter. Still looking forward to shooting with you. Awesome, man. With who, Peter? With me? Are we doing a shoot? Let's do a shoot, man. Let's get a TV job. Let's get ourselves onto something we can both be in, Peter. Definitely. Or are you shooting with Alma? I don't know what you're talking about. Right, I want to play you this clip, guys. Very, very quick. Even 60-second clip of I'm starting to dig stuff out of the archives of Acts on This TV, previous interviews I've done. There might have been like 12 months ago, 18 months ago, but the stuff on there is like evergreen. I mean, there's some stuff that I've took off because I've gone, actually, that is too old now, where people have been talking about a specific show, for example, that they're in at the time. But 9 times out of 10, the stuff with directors, casting directors and agents is pretty much evergreen, regardless of when I recorded it. Which is great. It just means there's even more value on there. I dug this out of a clip from a live broadcast I did with Mickey Jones. Mickey Jones is a director for a lot of soaps and serial dramas. One of the nicest guy. People always say that. Oh, he's one of the nicest guys you ever met. I'm being like totally serious. One of the nicest guys you'll meet in this industry, full stop. And I was asked him a little question that someone had asked on a live broadcast, which was about bringing somebody in for an audition if they were brand new, based off just their headshot. Because I'm all about, I said at the beginning, didn't I, taking action on a daily basis that's quick, taking fast action, being patient in the long game, but realising that the ones who win take action on a daily basis to get what they want. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I've only just got on Spotlight. I've literally just, got my headshots done, but I've not got a reel ready yet. I'm going to wait for this footage. And then they're waiting 3 months and 6 months. And I'm like, oh, God. Just try and get in the room before you've got the footage. You can always write back to these people once you've got the footage. And we ask Mickey, say, listen, would you ever bring someone in? Because he brings people into audition for the soaps all the time. Would you bring somebody in to audition based just on a headshot and nothing else? And I'm going to play you his answer. If anything, just to give you a kick up the arse, So this week, I hope, I mean, we're only on Monday, right? You've got the whole of this week. So that if you were procrastinating today, about doing Mail Out Monday, like I've maybe put on actsonthis.tv, and challenging people to do stuff. If maybe, you've been hanging around and you've been wanting to do something, but you haven't because you're just putting it off or whatever, that maybe you're going to do that. You're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to do that one thing that could change the trajectory of your career, regardless of how ready you feel you are. Because I'm all about just do it, see what happens. You can always do it again later and do it better and better and better as you go along your career. So listen to this clip from Mickey. If I can do anything for you, drop me a tweet at Ross A. Grant at ActOnThisTV. You can drop me an email. It's ross@actsonthis.tv. Please join actsonthis.tv. Get a premium membership. It's £10 a month. Loads of that money goes to charity. I'm doing so many, great interviews at the moment. We've had some great agents on recently, really good casting directors. I've got some live broadcasts coming up, some great actors coming on. I might have Danny Miller on from Emmerdale tomorrow. He's got really interesting stories to tell. He's been in and out of Emmerdale over the years, tried different things. He's been in Scott and Bailey for a little bit. Great guy, great contacts. Just really interesting guy to talk to. I'm going to try and get him in the studio right in here this week. That's all going to go on actsonthis.tv. We're building the community on actsonthis.tv. Just got loads and loads of stuff. Just get into the community. Like, be a part of it. Honestly, the more people we've got there, the stronger we are. Just the more fun the whole thing is. So get involved with that. acts.network/breakthrough for Jason's stuff. And this is Mickey Jones' little clip. Until next time, guys. I can't read any more comments now. I'm off that screen. But if you're writing comments, appreciate you being here. Those on the audio experience, thank you so much. But until next time, the magical words, bye for now. Would you ever bring someone in just off a headshot?
I always think of the person that gave me my first telly job. There was a few lines in an episode of Lovejoy, and I just think the amount of pouring of love I had for this man. I was like, oh, thank you. He was like my hero, and so I love to be able to give someone a little chance. So if you can get stuff sent in, it's well worth sending it. It might just land on the right desk at the right time. I love it when someone comes and they haven't done a telly job before. I love to give them that chance, that first chance, because as I said, I was there once myself. Give it back to someone, I've given loads of people their first go at it. Not for look at me, I'm look at me, the big benevolent one. I just like people to, because as I say, I've done it myself. I've been there. I like people to get a chance.